Shadows crawling in the bright daylight, voices twisted, feeding us the blight, telling stories that were never true. We fight to break on through. Lines are woven like a velvet chain, slick with power driving us insane. But the fire burns deep within our chests. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. They call us rebels, say we've lost our way, but freedom's blood, it fuels the fray. From the ashes comes a brighter light. We fight with all our might. See resolve in the roaring storm, breaking cages will rewrite the norm. No more silence, no more disguise. We fight with open eyes. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. We fight, we make our mark.
Or do you have reservations like some of your colleagues over in the House?
Of course I have reservations. It's a huge piece of legislation. The thing I look mostly, though, is how it affects Tennesseans. And if it doesn't pass, then Tennesseans will automatically have a pretty substantial tax increase, as in his district as well. So that working folks, things like that, the credits that are there in there for manufacturing, I like the border security. I like the Iron Dome if it's done.
Yeah, but a lot of
properly.
people in Tennessee get Medicaid and SNAP benefits as well. Are you worried about
No,
those cuts?
I'm not, because unless they're doing it illegally and waste, abuse, and fraud. That's all the cuts are. That's a misnomer. That's what the left is putting out to scare people, and unfortunately, that's what we do in politics, and it's wrong.
What do you're saying? Only people who get Medicaid illegally are going to be affected by these cuts? I don't think that's all right. I mean,
I do.
The projection is it's 12 million people. Are you saying 12 million people are getting Medicaid illegally?
I've delved into those notes, and most of them are unsubstantiated. That's, they will not address the fact that illegals are on it. They will not address the fact that there's a work requirement, which I think every American, if they're capable of working, they should probably not be on Medicaid. And so, we've got single moms, 2 kids or something like that. No, they should qualify for the programs. But if we're not careful, we will destroy the program, and it will not take care of the least amongst us.
Congressman Torres?
The Republican reconciliation.
What's up, everybody? How we doing today?
It's a tragedy for the
it's still
working people
going.
of America.
Whoops. Welcome to the Ace Report. How we have blah, 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 blah. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. It's good to have you here tonight. We are going to go through that crazy unknown question. What is actually in the big, beautiful bill? Of course, there's other news we'll cover as well, but this is the thing we need to hit tonight, because the latest is that after it passed the Senate today, it went to the House, and the House apparently is going to be bold and bring it to a vote tomorrow without any more changes, which means, listen, guys, Trump could actually sign this by July 4th. So it's pretty important we know what's in it. There's a lot of noise out there, a lot. of noise. What is actually in it? What's the tax cuts? What's the deficits? What's the Medicare cuts? All of this nonsense. We got to figure it out. So tonight we're going to go through it. I'm going to actually show you the truth so you can carve through the BS and feel a lot better. And I got to tell you guys, this bill, when you actually look at it, yes, there's a couple things that are ugly, but when you really get down to it, it is big, it is beautiful, and it should be something incredible for our economy going forward. If you like making money, if you like owing less money to the government, if you like strong borders, and if you think people should actually not be able to collect government benefits unless they're either working or legal, you're going to like this bill. So we'll set it up right there. But first, gotta say some good peeps. Say hey to some good peeps in here. What's up? Wago Waco, numero uno tonight. Randy Lochtefeld, Hobbs, Kasuk. What's up? US 1, Old Finds, Dollar Signs, Alan Krantz, CBT. Trainee, Stony Bones Butters, what's up? MM, Kathy, Kim Wiley, Shogun, Frank Anastasio, Drop TF, Troy, man, Daddy-O. What's up, Daddy-O? I like that. I like that. That's like Dad Executive Order, the way you did that. So now what? Silly Goose, Coopers, Hero, Stony Bones, JVG, Danny Blackman, Ryan Edberg, what's going on? JC Cool, Uncle Andy, what's up? Ficus, Alice Fordham, John Crisson. Good evening from sunny Southern California. Good to see you. Kiss Off, what's up? Good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, just quick notes. Please like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the show before we get started. I appreciate it. Help me break that YouTube algorithm. So hit that like. So we're getting started. Rumble folks, X folks, people who like to watch me on there. Until Rumble Studio gets sorted out, I will be streaming live on YouTube and posting the replays everywhere else. So you guys get the action right here. To me, the action is the juice. Yeah, it is. It truly is. All right, folks. You guys ready? We got a lot to get into because there's a lot in this bill. So I did what honestly everybody should do instead of just listening to who you like. And I don't care if you like Trump, which I do, and most of America does, as I'm going to show you guys in a little bit here. I don't care if that's your man. I don't care if you're a Massey guy, a Rand Paul guy, a Ted Cruz guy, a Nancy Pelosi guy. Who the hell are you? An AOC. I don't care who you are. You have a responsibility to know what's going on and these things that they create. And there's so many lies about this bill. So many. So I did, again, what we all should do. I uploaded the entire bill to chat. Actually, this is Grok. I uploaded it all to Grok. And I said, Grok, I'm going to ask you some questions. All right, I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to give it to me straight. So I started, let's talk about the tax cuts in this bill. Because somebody came to me tonight, and this is a person I actually enjoy. They might even be watching. I like them. We share different views. They are not the biggest fan of Trump, but they're not crazy leftists either. And they DM'd me, and they sent me something that they saw that said tax rates are going to increase for poor people. That people under 30K a year are gonna be paying more money. All right, and I said that's crazy because where I work, we deal with a lot of this stuff, and I actually just not only because I follow politics for you guys and for myself because I'm an addict, but I have to follow this stuff. I have to be on top of it, and so what I did is I said let's break this down. How on earth could, from what I know, there's no way poor people could pay more taxes in this bill. So give me the rates. And this is what it showed me. So let's just start with the tax cuts that are coming from this bill. Income tax rates are going to be permanently extended from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 that were going to expire at the end of the year. So just alone, this is a huge deal because now they are permanent. So your tax rates, depending on your bracket, are locked in. Now Congress would actually have to make the stupid decision to raise taxes and not just let it run out. So that's a good thing right there. Here's a big one. Permanently extended the double deduction from there, which, by the way, that means you have a massive deduction that's already built in, so you don't have to write a bunch of stuff down. But they upped it. Now we get an increase from 25 to 28, and after that, it's going to keep increasing based on inflation. So automatically, your deductions way higher. In fact, if you're filing married now, your deduction is almost $30,000 standard deduction. That's nice. That's nice. Permanent tax credit. It was $2,000. The Senate bill passed. It is going up to $2,200. So every kid you have now, you get an extra $200 off your taxes every year. Not huge, but it's something. No tax on tips, deduction for qualified tips for the next 4 years. Good luck letting that be repealed. See, they set this up. They did that as a budget gimmick so that it doesn't make the budget look even worse. And then in 2028, guess what? They're going to have to push it further off because nobody, and I mean nobody politically, is going to want those tax cuts to expire. No tax on overtime, same deal. Gone for the next 4 years. And they'll get SALT deduction is raised higher, which I'm not a fan of, but they had to do it to get it through. Senior deduction. This is one of the ways they're helping get rid of the tax on Social Security, because with Social Security, this bill, they can't change Social Security without 60 plus votes. So what they did is a workaround. And they gave seniors a much larger deduction to try to knock out any taxes that would be paid on Social Security. That's one of the ways they're working on it. Auto loan interest. You can deduct up to $10,000 for any U.S.-made vehicles. Love that. Estate gift tax. The exemption has been raised permanently. This is the death tax, by the way, folks. Permanently now to $15 million for an individual, $30 million a couple. That means if you are left up to $30 million as a couple or $15 million as an individual, you pay no death tax. That's wonderful. Very few people will ever inherit more than that. Really good stuff. Trump accounts. Now every kid is going to get $1,000 to start. I think it's babies born. And then you can put in there $5,000 a year annual savings for kids. And it's taxed at capital gains rates on withdrawal, which I don't love, but it's better than what it was. HSA's mortgage interest, permanent 750 principal limit. I'm not going to go through all these. It gets a little long. So we're going to come down here in a second, but actually we're going to go here, but we're not there yet. So let's not jump ahead. All right. So that's the tax deductions. Really good for everybody. No way you're going to get higher taxes from this. It's literally impossible from how it's built. So what are they doing? They're playing games. They're saying that poor people are going to have higher taxes because they're not going to get Medicare or SNAP benefits, which is all a lie. Because all of that is put in because there's work requirements now. Guess what? Because of COVID, under COVID, they used that. Biden used that to undo all the welfare reform that was still left from the Clinton years. Obama had undone a lot of it. Trump tried to get some more of it in, put back, none of it done. Biden eliminated it and made it worse. In fact, it was almost, they got as close to socialized medicine as they possibly could get under Biden. They used COVID to do that. And what they did is they extended all that stuff permanently. So then there's a bunch of freeloaders now. So Medicare has ballooned like crazy. And you could collect Medicare. You could get this health care either free or extremely cheaper and not have to work or do anything. And I get it. There's exceptions where people don't have the option. If you got kids, you're in a tough time, all of that. All that's built into the bill. But this is kicking off people who are freeloading, which we should all be in favor of. But it's not only doing that. It's also kicking out the illegals. We were told that they weren't able to do this, but clarification. Charlie Kirk writes, huge point of clarification, great news. The One Big Beautiful Bill does in fact remove 1.4 million illegals from Medicaid and most non-citizens. Important thread from Eric Schmidt. Let's see what he says here. The ban itself was already in the bill, never taken out. It wasn't just a ban on Medicaid for illegals who commit heinous crimes. It applies to all Medicaid for all illegal immigrants and most non-citizens. The bill we passed goes much further. Beyond banning Medicaid for 1.4 million illegal aliens, it requires states to verify citizenship status before providing coverage. Excellent. Bans automatic Medicaid enrollment for children of illegal aliens. Very good. Excludes DACA from Medicaid. Oh, the dreamers. The dreamers. That was Obama's attempt at amnesty. According to the CBO, roughly 1.4 million illegal immigrants currently on Medicaid, despite the fact they don't meet federal enrollment requirements because blue states expand their federally funded Medicaid programs to include them. True. As of April 2025, 14 states plus D.C. offer government health care to people regardless of immigration status. 7 states plus D.C. offer government health care to adults, not just children, regardless of immigration status. The One Big Beautiful Bill ends that arrangement by restricting Medicaid eligibility. According to official data from CBO, that kicks a whopping 1.4 million off right now. So there it is. We were all told it wasn't in the parliamentarian. So this makes me wonder what the parliamentarian actually did cut out, or maybe they found a way around it. I don't know, but this is good news. This is excellent news that they were able to include that. This is one of the big reasons people were freaking out. Remember last night? I think it was Bill Johnson. Are you watching tonight, Bill? I know I was a little mean to you last night. I'm sorry, but I was getting annoyed. We did it, Bill. We did it. It's out. They no longer will get that done. And here's the other big one that everybody was freaking out about that was in this bill. The Senate voted overwhelmingly 99-1 to strike the provision in the Big Beautiful Bill that would have banned state regulation on AI for a decade. They give credit to Thomas Massie. It wasn't Thomas Massie who exposed it. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene. The Massie heads, man, are freaking just... They really got it. They really got the gay vibes for Massie. I got to tell you, they just, that man, that is, and do I have to remind you that Thomas Massie voted for Biden to have unrestricted debt ceiling for almost 2 years? Do I have to remind you of that? The dude's not, he's not who he says he is. He is truly not. He is a fraud. You can't vote like that and then get mad at this bill for spending too much. It doesn't make sense. By the way, this bill is expected to add, because of the border and a couple other things, about $60 billion in new spending over 10 years. Over 10 years, $60 billion. Not that much more. Meanwhile, the cuts equal, when you factor in who's being kicked off Medicaid, SNAP, and in all the green energy credits that are cut, we're looking at over 10 years, $1.7 trillion in savings. So let's talk about the next big fear that everybody was freaking out about. Medicaid to illegal immigrants, gone. AI, unfettered, no regulations on AI for 10 years, gone. Okay, those are two of the big fears. The last big fear is the big, scary deficit. Well, let's talk about the deficit. The One Big Beautiful Bill passed by the House and Senate includes significant cuts to social safety net programs, Medicaid cuts. The Senate version reduced state provider taxes from 6%, defunded entities providing abortions. Love that. Planned Parenthood going bye-bye. Estimated savings, Senate, $790 to $930 billion, with estimates of 10 to 11 million people losing coverage. First of all, just like Birchfeld saw, that's an estimate from the CBO. It's not going to happen. Won't be anywhere close to that, because a lot of these people are going to end up working. They will. This will kick their lazy butts off the couch. Go get a job. Also, way more jobs available all of a sudden now that the illegals are leaving. So this won't happen, but we're still going to get a lot of savings because no illegals on there and no freeloaders either. Cuts, this is the impact. We're not going to get into that because that's all guess. SNAP, same thing. Green energy credits, this is what I love. Phases out tax credits for wind, solar, EVs, and energy efficient appliances. Senate accelerates phase out compared to the House. Credits end by 27 verse 28. The Senate got into it, man. Proposed excise tax on wind solar projects started post 27 was removed after pushback. So they're not going to excise tax the projects, but whatever. Estimated savings, not quantifiable, but repealing credits reduces federal outlays. It's going to save a crap ton of money. Let's just put it that way. Hundreds of billions of dollars. So you get all these cuts, and it comes down to analysis. 1.7 trillion tax cut aligns closely with the sum of Medicaid, SNAP, green energy credit reductions plus smaller cuts elsewhere. And then we still get this deficit, 3.3 to 4.7 trillion. Where? Well, we're not adding that much spending. It's all because they're estimating the tax cuts are going to do that, which is nonsense. And let me tell you why that's nonsense. It's nonsense because we already are living under those tax cuts. They're not changing. There are some more tax cuts coming, but they're nowhere close to those numbers. What they're doing, it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick to freak everybody out. It's a gimmick that someone like Elon Musk should know better, and he's falling for it. It's a gimmick that Thomas Massey and Rand Paul are falling for. I thought they were libertarians. They should love that taxes are lower. I thought free market, baby. Isn't that what libertarians are all about? Free market, free the markets. Let's get the growth going. But no, not for this, because this raises the deficit over 10 years because we need those tax cuts to go back into effect. You know what it doesn't also qualify with the CBO doesn't project? The CBO is run by a bunch of leftists, by the way. The CBO doesn't take into account that if everybody's taxes go higher, less money goes into the system. So the first year you get more revenue, and every year after that you get less. That, my friends, means the deficits will still grow, maybe even larger if the tax cuts go into or the tax cuts do not stay. We get a tax raise. If the tax raise goes into effect, this isn't passed, deficits will continue to grow massively. That is where they get almost 4 trillion out of the 4.5 trillion they're saying is going to be in extra debt over 10 years. What they're not accounting for is the CBO does that projection of 10 years at 1.5% growth. This, my friends, this bill, I went over all the tax cuts individual. I didn't go over all the tax cuts for businesses. Businesses are going to get massive tax cuts. Manufacturing, if you create a factory now, tax-free. Manufacturing going to be hugely incentivized to build. That's a ton of jobs, baby. R&D credit, now reinstated, permanent, and goes back 3 years. Everybody doing research and development now is going to save. That is innovation, baby. This stuff is going to create the economy to boom, to absolutely go nuts. And Scott Bessent says, in their projections, if we get growth to 3%, that whole 4 trillion over the next 10 years is eliminated. And I'll tell you what, if our taxes raised because this bill doesn't pass, there is not even a little bit of a chance that that deficit that they're projecting, that extra deficit, it's not the deficit fully, it's extra deficit. There's no way at all that deficit disappears. It goes up because of the tax raises, because of the constraints on business. But if we grow, even just at 3%, which I think is actually going to be very possible with what Trump's doing, we grow at 3%, it all gets wiped out. They don't tell you that. None of the economists do. And you know why? This is my friend wrote me today. It was like, hey, what do you think about all this, man? The economists are saying this is terrible. I was like, what economists are you talking to? Oh, all the Keynesian economists out there? All the, what's his name? Krugers? Listen, everybody in the media is a Democrat, which means everybody in the media as an economist is telling you they want a more socialized economy because that creates winners and losers. That creates a bigger Wall Street and a smaller Main Street. And they love that. That's where they get all that power. They want us kept down. They're all working for those guys. They are all frauds. Anybody who understands basic economics, go back and read Adam Smith. Okay, read some Thomas Sowell. Anybody who actually understands real economics knows this bill is excellent for the economy. Sure, it's not perfect, but when are we ever going to get perfect with this Congress? We maybe have 10, 15 senators, maybe 20 now, that are truly MAGA, who truly would actually do what it takes to get our country back on track. That means we have to still get 30 of them to vote for a bill like this. 30. John Thune, majority leader of the Senate, only voted conservative 51% of the time. He gets an F ranking from conservative groups as a senator, and he is the majority leader of the Republicans. The fact that this bill is getting through and it's like 85 to 90% awesome, that, my friends, is a miracle. And so don't believe all the nonsense out there. Elon is lying to you. And we're missing one of the best parts of the bill. The big beautiful bill increases funding for ICE from $2 billion to $45 billion. $2 to $45 billion. That's a big growth there, my friends. That means ICE all of a sudden is going to have 20 times more funding to get the job done. Think of how much they're already doing. This is unbelievable. This is how it makes me feel. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, just get that done. Fix that immigration system, baby. How much more? Wages already went up 60% from April through May. 60? No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong statistic. They went up the most. I had the number 60 in my head. Excuse me. They went up the most in 60 years from April to May. Biggest jump in a month in 60 years. Why? The only big reason is people are able to get better jobs. When you stop paying slave labor, the wages are going to go up. And all the lazy teenagers sitting at home in mama's basement, well, guess what? All of a sudden, there's a bunch of jobs out there for you. And don't give me this nonsense Americans won't do those jobs. Are you kidding me? You know how many crappy jobs I worked? You ever worked landscaping in the hot summer when it's 110 outside and you're mowing lawns? Dude, I did that for 3 years. It sucked. But you know what? I did it. And I was proud of my paycheck. I didn't care it was hard work. I don't want to show up every day, but I did, and people will now too. They will, because when you're not on Medicaid, sitting on your butt playing Fortnite all day, when you got to actually get out there, you're going to take a job, and the wages are going to go up. These people who are making, the corporations, and some people, contractors, got to say it. Sorry, guys. A lot of contractors, wonderful people. I worked for a couple of them. One of my friends, his crews were mostly illegal immigrants. Nice guys for the most part, but he was paying them. He actually paid them decent, but still pennies on the dollar compared to what Americans would charge. And listen, his business is going to struggle now. He's going to have to charge more, but that's capitalism. People will make more, and his profits will go down a little bit. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. We need this for our country. The time of slave labor has got to end. And that's what it is. When you can pay people, say they're good. Say they're good people. You know, everything's great about them except they're here illegally. You know, they literally just came over because they wanted to try for the American dream. They didn't know how to come over here other than Biden just swung the door open and said, everybody come in. And so they did. You can't really blame them for that. Maybe they thought this was how it's always going to be forever. They don't know. They don't follow American politics. They just heard the American border's open. I can go there. Maybe you just excuse everything you say. They're decent people. They just came over here the wrong way. but they're making $6 an hour picking strawberries. That's slave labor. There's just nothing like that's taking advantage of another human being. So even in that sense, it's not okay. So great stuff. Listen, the more I look into this bill, I was actually very iffy on the bill a couple weeks ago. I was like, well, we got to pass it. Most of the stuff in there, not most of the stuff. There's a lot of stuff I don't like. I didn't like the AI thing. There's some other stuff it's small. It's nothing crazy, but it's just not the best. I would do it different. I wasn't a huge fan, but it was fine. I was like, whatever, we still got to do it. Now I'm all in, baby. The bill looks better the more I look at it. It really does. And so for those who are wondering, worrying, listen, that's what you need to know. Everything I just told you guys, it's what you need to know. And the winning is going to keep going. When this bill passes, the whole immigration system is going to ramp up. That's going to fix so much. Wages are going to go up in America. Jobs openings are going to explode. And Americans as a whole are going to start doing better. We've already seen the beginning of that. Not to mention crime will be way down, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be a pain period because we're addicted to this cheap labor, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. You're right, Lochtefeld. I meant Krugman, not whatever I said, Kruger. Krugman. But what this does, guys, is with the tax rates going where they're at, individually and for businesses, every time tax rates get lower, guess what? We get a little freer. So now we're more protected at the border and we're a little freer. That is the two biggest things. Everything else is just, it's just little icing on the cake here and there, or a couple green beans you don't want to eat. It's not that bad. The biggest stuff is these tax rates being permanent is massive. I can't stress that enough. This is going to blow up our economy in the good way. It really is. People are going to have more money. Businesses are going to be able to invest like crazy. And that is going to lead to a massive economic boom, which I believe, because I still think we got to go through a correction, I believe that massive economic boom is going to hit in the next couple years. All right. And also, this is just continuing to break up the deep state. They're just eliminating stuff, the Planned Parenthood stuff, the way they're defunding green credits. These are all ways they were paying people on the left. And by the way, USAID's completely gone now. And Act Blue is being investigated. We're winning so hard right now, guys. We are winning so hard right now. It's incredible. Look at this. Act Blue, House of Cards collapsing. Top exec subpoena. DOJ investigating billions in tax dollars allegedly funneled to USAID and Dem NGOs. Trump authorized a probe. Pam Bondi leading it. Foreign cash, stolen ideas, rigged elections. It wasn't fundraising. It was money laundering. It's going down, baby. And Chucky is so mad about
even the
it.
socials also know this is just the beginning. If Doge attacks USAID today, then you can be sure they'll move on to another target tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the Postal Service or the IRS or even the Social Security Administration. They could be next. Or maybe our national security agency.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Chucky. Don't threaten me with a good time. It's going well. I'm very happy with how things are going. All right, let me take a second and get into the chat. I'm sorry I've been ranting, guys. I had to go through that. There was a lot of stuff to cover, but let's go into the chat and let's see what's going on in there. Before I go to the next place, by the way, please take a second, take a like to the video, subscribe if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. And if you want more, tomorrow night, Members Live, Discord going 24/7. If you want more, go into the description, click that link for Patreon and get a free month for your first month to the membership and become an ace-hole. We got plenty of ace-holes already in here though, don't we? All right, let's see here. Ryan Edward, what's going on? Uncle Andy says, let me know what's really going on. I hope that helped. I really do. Shogun, no, not the Better Business Bro. Nice. FICA says, we have to pass it to find out what's in it. This isn't a Democratic Congress, buddy. Old Fine says, been with you from day one. We got your back. I love it. Thank you so much. Toe Cramp, you missed the beautiful intro. I'm sorry. Drew Savala says, crazy parts, a lot of people are actually running with this stuff. Ain't close to true about taxes being raised for people who make 30K. Amen, brother. Amen. Uncle Andy says, I'm a fan of the salt deduction increase. California screws us here. I get it, man. I do. You know, I'll tell you the truth, Andy. I'm mixed on salt. I don't like it because it rewards people who are in blue states. And not like people like you, but it rewards the bad people. I don't like that. But at the same time, it means less taxes, which I'm in favor of. So I'm mixed. I'm very mixed on salt. Smith says gambling lowered to 90% deduction instead of 100%. Well, was that in there? I didn't see that. That sucks for you gamblers. Sorry for that. Sorry. Jim Boswell never liked Freddie the Freeloader. Is that his name? Roger says, I thought they removed that clause. Is awesome news. I guess you're talking about the illegals. It is very good. Alan says, my father-in-law, 320 acres at 10 grand an acre divided by 2 sisters and sister with no tax. Great for wife. So 160 acres be given to our children, hopefully to future kid. That's amazing, man. Yeah, I tell you what, the biggest people excited that I've seen excited about the inheritance tax increasing even more, the cap, and being made permanent, which is excellent, is the fact that farmers are very excited about this because of land. You know, they're the ones with a lot of the land. Thank you, Chris Albers. What's going on? Hobbs, I talked about Jaguar last night. It was so crazy. 49 cars sold in April. So stupid. Jim Boswell says the IRS tax rate being lowered will increase the velocity of money and increase tax revenue. Amen. That's 100% true. Asbestos, don't quite get it, but thanks. Your emoji comment. Jim Boswell says factories can depreciate capital investments over a shorter amount of time. Current tax laws take up to 30 years to depreciate certain things. Very true. I would love to see the payroll taxes eliminated, Roger. Hopefully we get there eventually. Cass Sink says Peter Navarro said 2 things going to help debt growth and tariffs. He explains on his video. I love it. Peter Navarro is brilliant, man. Jim Boswell says most of the New York Stock Exchange investors wealthiest in the nation. I know. And they're the ones who are railing. It's their economists railing against this. So Uncle Andy says maybe Elon just misunderstands. No, listen, Andy, I wish that were the truth. There's no way Elon misunderstands this. Yeah, talking to Trump's not going to change it. They've already done it. Something's going on there. I don't quite have my finger on the pulse of it. But I think Elon is not getting what he thought he was. I think maybe he also thought he was going to have a lot more control because of all the money he gave. Be interesting. Did Elon think he could buy a president? Creeper, I love landscaping too. Not other people's lawns. Over and over and over again. Stephen Cromer says, what's the capital gains tax on our short squeezes? I don't think capital gains taxes have changed. So long-term versus short-term, big difference. Peter Joy says, a little late to the show. Did I talk about alligator Alcatraz? No, I didn't, but I have something to share for you about alligator Alcatraz. My favorite clip of the day. Here we go. Trump, what do you got to say about alligator Alcatraz?
I think our viewers at home should note that this is air-conditioned facility, so if any of the news claims they're keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here, to be honest.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here, that son of a...
We truly don't deserve him. I love it. Roger says salt doesn't help Washington State. No income tax. It does help big blue cities like Seattle. That's exactly right. Yep. Exactly right. Jim says one should not rely on Social Security. Oh, 100% for your main source of. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be there at all. So no way can show me an increased salt deduction. Well, it's not about being fair. It's about buying those votes. They had to get California and New York Republicans, who that's like their big issue was the salt deduction. They had to get them to sign on to the bill. Otherwise it would not have passed. So that's just how politics works. It's not fun, but it is what it is. All right. Look what's already happening with only $2 billion funding for ICE. Our border crossings have gone to April down 93% from last year, May down 93%, June 95%. 6,000 people crossed in June. That's it. That is insane. That is unbelievable. That means they're easy to catch, easy to turn back. And this, it's just amazing what Trump's already done at the border. So the border, when you see these numbers, this tells us the border. Oh, by the way, the big beautiful bill also funds fully a border wall. So that's going to get done, and we're not going to have any more of this nonsense. Where in the last term, Trump had to fight and figure out how to get the border wall made, and it was unfinished. Oh, it's going to be done, and it's going to be big and beautiful. So this is going to go even further down. But the great news is the border is basically 100% secure at this point. And that means the deportations are going to ramp up significantly. Let's get all the bad ones out. And then some of them, maybe we can figure out something. But because there's so many, I don't think we'll be able to deport them all. But we can get out so many of them. And it's going to just be so good for our country. Just like when I played that Ann Coulter clip the other night. This is actually the singular most important issue to our country for its survival. And then you throw in here all the massive tax cuts and what they'll do to the economy, getting rid of all the green energy nonsense. Trump is completely obliterating the green energy sector, which is great because the green energy sector only survives because the government subsidizes it. If green energy was created that made sense and that was affordable, I'd be 100% for it. And there actually is something that exists. It's called nuclear, and it's a bad word to most people. Nuclear energy is the cleanest energy on Earth and the cheapest, but it's scary. And I get why it's scary. But with our technology now, we have nuclear submarines that have been running 50 years, no problem. We got this. We got this. And they know how to create it now in a way that it just won't cause any damage, even if there was a meltdown. So this is, we got the answers. We just haven't been using them. But the green scam going bye-bye. That means billions of dollars lying in their pockets, gone. Thousands and millions of hours wasted by workers, CEOs, businesses, gone. All of that will be turned back to actual productivity. It's going to be huge. 10,000 new ICE agents, says Roger. Jim says only a small percent of NYSE investors are wealthy, invest on their own. Most use companies like Schwab or Fisher. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Biden did invite the illegals in. That's why I don't blame all of them that came over. Obviously a lot, but some of them are decent people who just saw the opportunity. You can't blame them for that. It's Biden's fault, not theirs. But obviously that doesn't excuse the criminals and all the other terrible things. BW, you're late. 2 times speed. There you go, man. Ramp it up. Hero says only 68 likes. We can do better. I know we can. Hit it, guys. Hit those likes, please, and thank you. Look at this. Trump's popularity is growing so much that states that were once thick blue turning red quickly. Look at Pennsylvania. 2008, 1.2 million registered Democrats over Republicans. Now it's under 200,000 and under 100,000 active voters. Scott Presler and everybody are about to turn Pennsylvania into a full-on red state. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. This is going across the nation. And this is why when people talk about the midterms and so terrified about it, I'm telling you right now, the big beautiful bill is not going to cost us the midterms. Elon Musk with this stupid American Party, even if he starts it, which he won't. Listen, he might start it. He might get a couple things in there, and it's going to flame out so fast. You can't run 8 companies and a party, a political party. Political party is a lot of work. It's on the ground. It's not just throwing money at something. Elon doesn't have it in him. He does not. And so if he starts this party, it's going to be exciting for a couple months. And then by the next election, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing. And it could play spoiler in a couple close races, and that's it. But I think with this big, beautiful bill passed and everything going well right now in America, trending in the right direction, as long as we have our economic correction soon and we can be rebounding by then, I don't think the midterms are going to be an issue at all. I think we're going to gain. One of the reasons, and this is a big one, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull this off, but there's talk right now and Marjorie Taylor Greene's pushing this, and Trump's trying to get it done too. There's talk of redoing the 2020 census. The reason they want to redo it is because in 2021, when they were finishing up the counting, Biden put in that you do not have to be a citizen to be counted. He overturned something Trump had been trying to get through. By doing that, all these blue states got a whole bunch more votes, especially California and a couple others. They got pumped up by the illegal numbers. And if they redo the 2020 census in the middle, 2025, 2026, because our next census is 2030, it's every 10 years. But if we redo the 2020, we could already have new apportionment before the midterms, which almost guarantees we'll gain in the House and Senate. It's massive, friends. Like, there's so much good going on. I don't know how anybody could be blackpilling right now. Jim Boswell, smaller thorium reactors could be the future. They require more reactor shielding. I don't think that'd be too bad, though. More initial investment for a better output. That seems worth it. Brett Montgomery said, like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Brett. Roger found out FBI is a 1-800 number will help you recover crypto losses and fat pig scams. You lost $60K in December 1 and we'll be calling soon. Oh, man, I hope that works out for you. Mad Max got here late. Did I discuss no tax and tips in overtime? I did. Last 4 years if you count 2025. But Max, here's the deal with that, because it does suck that it expires. Okay. Here's the deal. It was a gimmick. The reason they're doing it that way is so that they don't balloon this deficit number more. Okay. But in 2028, there's going to be probably a more Republican Congress, in my opinion, more MAGA Congress. We're getting rid of rhinos like Tom Tillis. They're already retiring. More MAGA. Trump still there. Or Vance, if they do it the next year. And then you're telling me that Congress is going to allow that to expire when their base is going to destroy them over it if they do? There's no way. They will re-up it. Just like Trump's tax cuts right now, we're not getting new tax cuts on income. We are getting the same ones kept, because what Trump passed in 2017 was only for 8 years. We were going to lose it this year, but that's why they're fighting so hard on this bill, because they cannot let it go. If we reach December 31st and this bill is not passed, January 1st, all of our taxes go up a bunch. They can't do that, and they won't let it happen with tax on tips on overtime either. They know that, but they did this on purpose as a gimmick. And so I'm telling you, I think once those are passed, they're going to stay. The only way they don't is if we lose the House or Senate. Jim Boswell, Pennsylvania electric rates are going up about 15%. The grid's overloaded. Electric demands increases. That's going to keep happening with AI and stuff. That's why we need nuclear. Kasinks in Pennsylvania was a Dem voter, voted for Trump. Your priority was the border. Anything else Trump does is icing on the cake. There you go, buddy. And it's good. Jim Boswell, in my opinion, it will require legislation to redo the census for congressional districts. I agree. More winning. The Pentagon has officially halted weapon shipments to Ukraine. So there you go. Macron had a talk with Putin today also about a ceasefire. So we're getting closer and closer to Ukraine and Russia being over, which is a huge win. Trump's winning so much. He's had the best 10 days, 2 weeks of his presidency. Oh, Harry, my favorite my favorite New York Jew, on CNN has this to say about how Trump's doing. So let's just watch this whole clip, because I always love when Harry has to talk about how good Trump's doing. It's just fun for me.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to look at the strongly approved numbers. So this isn't just Republicans who like Donald Trump. This is Republicans who love Donald Trump. And he's up like a rocket. Look at this. In July 2017, the strongly approved was 53%. That's pretty good. But look at where he is now. 63% of Republicans strongly approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing about 5 months into his presidency. Republicans love Donald Trump the way that Americans love Disney World. The bottom line is 63%. That is a huge, huge base. And of course, it's just part of a Republican base in which about 90% of them overall approve of him, including the somewhat approves as well.
I mean, every politician would like this number here, especially to see it go up. How about compared to other presidents who were Republicans?
Boy, here we go.
It's history making. It's history making. What are we talking about here? So
History-making.
why don't we look back? We have all the
What are we talking about
Republican
here?
presidents going back over the last 35, 36, 37 years. What are we talking about? GOP, who strongly approved 5 months in. Look at this. George H.W. Bush, Bush 41, 46%. Bush 43, 59. You see Trump, the first term, 53. But look at this. 63%. He beats all the other Republicans on the board here. And I was looking even back since Reagan. And get this, Donald Trump beats Ronald Reagan when it comes to the strongly approved 5 months. And of course, Reagan was coming off that high after that assassination attempt. So the bottom line is Donald Trump is making history with the Republican base. He is more beloved by this Republican base than any Republican base loved any GOP president 5 months in. It is history making.
Boom.
Tillis stepping down, stepping aside after President Trump threatened to primary him.
You guys realize how massive that is? That currently Trump is more popular with Republicans than Reagan. I just was stunned when I heard that. And we're supposed to believe that he's some failure as a president, that like the country hates him. No, the Republicans have never had a president they've loved as much as Trump. It's the craziest thing. It's unbelievable.
The question is, how effective is Trump's endorsement? We know it can hurt, but how effective is it?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, the bottom line is if you're a Republican lawmaker, you see this 63%, you say, my goodness gracious, you do not want to go against Donald Trump because the Republican base is with Donald Trump. And it's not just the polling. We actually have the data to show that the Republican base is with Donald Trump. The times Trump endorsees won the GOP primary for governor and congressional races. Look at this. 2024, 96%. 2022, 95%. 2020, 98%. The bottom line is this. 95% plus of the time, the Trump endorsed candidate wins in GOP primaries. And even in the cases where Donald Trump endorses a challenger to an incumbent, the majority of the time, that challenger wins. So Donald Trump is a winner in Republican primaries. You go against Donald Trump, to quote the movie Good Burger, you go in the grinder. Donald Trump is the key nugget. His endorsement is the key nugget in a GOP primary because he's historically strongly popular with the GOP
And
base.
now there's going to be a surprise primary in North Carolina, so we will be watching that.
Nobody's ever quoted the Good Burger in history. I'm sorry, Harry. That's about as bad as it gets. But I love Harry. He's the biggest
Harry
dork.
Anton, it is always a pleasure.
He's the biggest dork out there, and he's such a dork on CNN. He just tells the truth, and it drives them absolutely crazy. Brett says Harry's so verklempt. He does. He's got the verklempt thing. Donald Trump's numbers are the highest ever. Oh, I'm verklempt. Donald Trump versus Ronald Reagan. Discuss. She is in distress. She is freaking out, Mad Max. And yeah, Mad Max, best president. Amen. Brett's back. He's on it tonight. Butter says, when I see Trump succeed at these things, when people like Thune back down, disappear, I get frustrated. Why not will that influence, fix the damn markets? Dude, it's coming, Butters. It's coming. So Trump announced today that the next thing he's focusing on, the big thing that's coming next, is going to be the elections. He's going to shore up the elections, which makes sense. And I talked about this on my video the other night. Remember that it makes sense why he hasn't gone after the markets yet. he has to get everything else into place because the markets are volatile, and that could trigger this house of cards to collapse. You can't do that unless you have the strong foundation to catch it all and to bounce back. And so Trump has to get things in order. And I know it's frustrating. We all want this to happen, but it makes sense. It really does make sense when you back out to the 1,000-foot view and you say, okay, I get why Trump isn't doing it yet, but I do believe it's coming. I don't listen. We just passed half. No, we haven't even had him for half a year yet. Half a year is on July 20th. That'll be half a year. We still have 3 years and 7 months left of Trump. Okay, it's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen. Just hang in there, and we're going to see it. But speaking of the economy, let's end here. Things are starting to crack. As good as a lot of what Trump's doing is having results, good results, the cracks in the foundation that has been built, the terrible foundation we're standing on, are starting to come through even more. Del Monte chilled fruit snacks filed bankruptcy. Del Monte. Now, this is an extension of the larger Del Monte. This is just a wing of theirs, but still, we're talking like a food brand that's been around forever. How does somebody like this go bankrupt? It's probably not so much because of sales, but because of other stuff going on, their financing behind the scenes, and being robbed maybe behind, like, who knows the details. But I'm telling you, sometimes these big companies, remember that video a few weeks ago about that woman talking about how the hedge funds have kind of started buying everything and then bankrupting companies to own them, kicking them out, owning their properties, companies that are profitable. That might be what we're seeing here. So, but it just shows you, though, that things are very fragile. And on top of this, we're looking at Credit Suisse. Now, Just Dario posts, UBS is Lehman Brothers on steroids. Feel free to bookmark this post and slap it on my face if it isn't going to happen. He's basically saying if UBS collapses, it's Lehman Brothers, but much, much worse. And Kirsten Shaughnessy shares, they're worried about another Credit Suisse. IMF-backed Swiss authorities' financial sector reforms, including controversial proposal for UBS to hold significantly more capital than its peers. They're trying to get UBS Bank to do whatever it can. They're trying to put all these regulations on it so it doesn't collapse because they're terrified. They've seen the books. They know bad things are coming. If UBS falls, the whole global financial markets collapse. So something to be looking out for. We're starting to see more and more shakiness. Remember, reverse repo got a major injection the other night from the Fed just out of nowhere. Cash is drying up. Cash is drying up. Things are getting worse and worse. Behind the scenes. On the top, everything's going great because Trump's policies are very smart. Unfortunately, those policies can't cure the rot. The rot is uncurable because it's so intertwined, it's so over leveraged, and there's so many bad actors involved. The only way out is through. We have to go through the pain to fix the system. But the more Trump builds a strong foundation with all his other policies, the less pain there will be and the faster we'll bounce back. So I have a lot of faith in what Trump's doing. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think he does have a pulse on the markets. It's not coincidence that his stock, DJT, is one of the most highly naked, attacked, shorted stocks on the market, manipulated stocks. It's not a coincidence. Trump knows. And trust me, he's pissed because that's a lot of his money they are robbing from him. But Trump is a patient man. He is very patient. Much more patient than we are. I think we're going to see all the wins we're rooting for, guys. Whether it's the markets, Epstein, you name it. I think we're going to see all these wins. But patience is key. And what Trump's doing already in just these first 6 months is historic. We've already seen, once this big, beautiful bill passes, even more so. We've already seen an incredible turn of events to turn our country around. But the man is not stopping. It's only going to keep going. And so at this pace, eventually everything we want to see will happen. And that's My 2 cents, but I feel very confident about it. All right, last check in the chat. Any questions, comments? I appreciate it. You guys are the absolute best. Please like, share, subscribe. If you want to be more, you want to be in the members live tomorrow, get in the Patreon. Again, it is free for your first month. You get to decide if you like it, and you get to decide if you stay. And if you stay, it's only $5 a month to keep the Discord and the members lives. Or you can give more if you want to support more. I'm not going to tell you no. I appreciate the support. But eventually, in the next few weeks, I'm also going to plan to start building out classes for the upper tiers. But for now, it's just $5 a month, but you get your first month free by clicking on that link in the description. Texas Lone Star says $5 trillion might not even be needed unless it's to save the U.S. from market collapse. It's possible. Butter says, I agree, as resources to be patient. I think of the people who can't hold on anymore, losing positions as a result of needing to liquidate. Dude, it sucks. It does. And there's always casualties. It's terrible. I know I've lost way more in the markets than I care to admit the last 3 years. But, just going to believe we'll get it all back. Roger, Diddy conviction came in? Beautiful. Okay, let's pull that up real quick. The Diddy conviction, 4 of 5 counts. That makes me very happy. Breaking news. Where is it? This must be very new because it's not showing up. Where did you see this? I'm not seeing a conviction yet. So, where'd you see that, man? Because I'm not seeing that. I'd love to see it. If it comes up somewhere. Let me go here. Well, CBS just agreed to pay Trump $16 million. I don't see anything on a Diddy conviction. I'll just keep checking. Refresh. Saw a post. I mean, I hope you're right. That would be excellent. Fireworks warehouse blew up, but still nothing on Diddy. I'll keep an eye out for it. Might be something we talk about tomorrow. He didn't kill himself, right? Yeah, Leah Thomas, the trans swimmer, stripped of her titles. Oh, his titles. It's a man. Stripped of his titles, has to write apologies, I think, to everybody. Crazy stuff. So, all right, guys. Anyways, I'll keep an eye out for the Diddy stuff. Yeah, still deliberating, it says. I'm gonna check one more time before we sign off tonight. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I don't. So this says Fox News, Diddy jury deadlocked on the most serious charge. So that's the latest news. This did say they have an agreement on all but one issue. So, okay. Well, that's where we're at. All right, I guess we'll see. Hopefully tomorrow he gets put away for a long time. That would be excellent. All right, guys, on that note, hey, let's do what we always do. Please like and subscribe before you head out. I appreciate it, or join. But let's pray and call it a night. And members, again, if you want members live, it's free right now. Go get it at Patreon. Members live tomorrow. We'll catch up on the latest news, and if it's a slower day, we'll do something fun. All right. Love you guys. Let's pray and get out of here. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless this amazing group. Lord, I thank you for just having the most incredible time to be alive as far as politically. Watching just a movement actually happen in real time. That's going to be in the history books. It's a It's a joy and an honor to witness in real time. It's incredible. Father, we pray for wisdom and protection over President Trump and his team, that they would just continue to get more momentum get through. I do pray that the big, beautiful bill passes tomorrow, Lord, and he can sign on July 4th, and we can get a win for our economy in a major way, and also for our immigration system. Those are the things that matter the most right now. So I pray for that. I pray that they would continue just bringing justice to the land in all the areas that need justice, so that everybody can get back, Lord, just whatever is possible to be replaced of what was stolen from them in so many ways. Time, money, you name it. So I bless this crowd. Pray, God, that whatever they need, Lord, you bless them with it. And just thank you for all you do in our lives, and for, again, just the honor of being alive during this incredible time. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Love you guys. Bless you. Have a wonderful night. And I will see you all tomorrow.